guys, and welcome to Were You Watching That, the movie podcast where three friends hang out and talk about our movie of the week. We'll be spoiling the movies that we watch, so yep, I don't know how to read. So we suggest watching the movie before you listen to the podcast or watch us on the YouTube. I'm Taylor. I'm here with Megan and Renee. I don't know why I point because whenever it's in like the actual video, it's never you're never where I point. So Megan and Renee. Um, and today we're talking about the 2007 movie Trick or Treat, right? Megan? Megan, this is your episode.
Believe
You take
so.
it away.
All right, so yeah, our 2007 Trick or Treat. I think like the Trick or Treat thing might just be my husband being a ding dong and trying to fool me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that.
Trick or treat.
Uh, yeah. But all right, anyway, so for our very brief little synopsis, in this 2007 kind of horror comedy, we follow five interwoven stories that all occur in the same town on the same Halloween night. This anthology captures the creepy spirit of Halloween.
Mhm.
It is written and directed by Michael Dougherty. Dougherty. Whenever I look at the spelling, I always pronounce it wrong.
Okay.
Um, but he also created the 2015 movie Krampus, the 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters, and the 2021 Godzilla vs. Kong. And also kind of little jumping into a fun fact, but I do have to say I didn't watch any of these, but he also wrote six Trick or Treat short films between 2011 and 2012.
Fun.
So I didn't actually watch any of those, but they exist. So yeah, I guess to start, how did you guys enjoy the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Overall impressions. Uh, Taylor, do you want to start?
Sure. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I've been kind of getting, so I don't like horror. I don't enjoy it at all, but I like slashers and it feels more of like a slasher movie. I also
Yes.
wasn't expecting it to be like a my brain is like it's like a Love Actually. Like when all of those movies came out, you had all of those like here's a bunch of stories that seem disconnected but they're connected. So I wasn't expecting that either because I went into it completely blind. I stand by what I said the last episode where I was like it's got the cute little burlap man. He's adorable until the burlap sack comes off and then he's a yucky pumpkin boy and I don't like that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't like scary and gory, which is also kind of what I expected. I thought it was funny. Anna Paquin being in it was surprising. I thought that whole scene, that whole bit with the werewolves was hilarious. Um, yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was fun. It felt like low budget enough as well. Like it kind of felt like it had the same feeling as like any other like early 2000s, like almost nostalgic 80s feel to it as well, which is strange. I was like, I don't know why I feel this way, but like I feel like it could also feel that it was intentional to feel like an 80s slasher movie. Yeah, okay. So I picked up on it,
There's a,
loved
a
it.
lot of a lot of inspiration, a lot of references to a lot of old horror, especially like 80s slasher, late 70s slasher, a lot of John Carpenter. A
Yeah.
lot of heavy influences with John Carpenter. I have more trivia of that later,
Yeah.
but Renee, or unless Taylor, you have more.
No, no, I'm good. We can, yeah.
Okay, Renee.
Okay, so I watched it with Megan.
Hmm.
Um it's not my typical like movie choice. Like I'm not bothered by scary movies, but I don't like torture or like watching people be killed, stuff like that. So I was
Yeah.
like a little like, am I gonna enjoy this? So it's nice to have Megan watch with me because like I had access to it and I was like every night that I could watch it, I'm like, I don't want to. I just don't feel like it. So like
Yeah.
having
Fair.
someone watch it with me was like that's the push I needed. Um it was, not as like gross or anything as I was like expecting.
Yeah.
So I liked it too. I like that the separate stories and then like how they intertwined. I like that. I found like the stories were great, and then at the very end when like you kind of like the camera pulls back off the street and all of a sudden like everyone you see everyone at once, all the stories like meet up at that moment. For whatever reason, that last moment, obviously it's meant to tie the movie together, but like it really did that for me where I was just like, okay, like this was so enjoyable because of that last moment where you see all the paths cross.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that's the point, right? That was the point. So overall, um, it was pretty good, better than I anticipated. Am I a baby?
Good.
Maybe, but I enjoyed it too.
None of the kills really happen on screen either, too, right? Like it's all kind of like off screen and then it's like
Just
boom,
off
they're dead.
screen, or
Yeah.
something's either blocking it or it like the camera cuts away. I did read a trivia fact that like that none of the deaths occur on screen.
Yeah.
Technically, either something blocks it or the camera cuts.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. The building of suspense, like when you're in the principal's basement with his kid, like I was like, oh my God, don't do anything to your kid. I'm like, no, not the kid. And then,
Yeah.
you know,
And then it's not the kid, or
I know.
it's not his kid.
Yeah. Because like after becoming a parent, anything happening to kids, I'm like, mm-mm, no, we're not doing this.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right. So kind of for my next question, which of the storylines was your favorite? Did you have one that you particularly liked, or did you just find all of them enjoyable? What did you think? Was there one that you found either really enjoyable or not enjoyable, or something that you thought was clever?
I'm gonna start with my least favorite of the stories,
Fair.
which was like the entire principal one. I just
Yeah.
thought it was like, like the kids sitting there throwing up. I'm like, I don't want to watch someone throw up.
Yeah.
Fair.
And like I know it's humorous, like it's a little bit humorous, but I'm just like, ew. And then it was like I was stressed out when he's trying to bury the bodies and the one's like making noise. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then the whole basement scene as well. So like that least favorite of the story.
Fair.
I think my favorite though is it's kind of like two parts because
Mhm.
it includes the neighbor.
Yep.
And then it's like the tweens going to like the quarry or whatever it
Yeah.
was. So
Yes.
that entire story I thought was pretty neat. I like
Mhm.
that one. And I like how it tied in like really what's the word? Like essential, like really integral. The finding out that the neighbor, spoiler alert, was the bus driver.
Yeah.
So I like that those two stories were like really important and they tied together. So I like that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was good. I liked the werewolf one. I don't know what it is about that one. I'm like, this just feels like because they're like, oh no, you have like these hot, sexy girls, and they're like, pressuring their friend, and you think that they're pressuring their friend to like fuck a dude, but they're like kind of like mean, sexy girls, and you're like, oh, like typical. But then they end up being werewolves, and like Anna Paquin kills a guy, and you're like, this is completely unexpected. Did not think that this is where that was going. Did not think that like they were gonna end up being werewolves. Like that, I really liked that. Was really grossed
Mhm.
out when they peeled off their skins, but
I know. I'm like, ooh.
The ultimate strip.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
The
I
ultimate
was like
strip.
gross. I was surprised by the boobs as well. I was not expecting the boobies. I was like, what? But I mean, if you're going for 80 slasher, you have to have at
You
least
have
one
tits.
shot, right?
Yeah.
So I really I really like that story just because of all of like the redirections that it gives you.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I like the little pumpkin boy. I'm just gonna keep saying
Yeah.
that.
Do you remember his name?
It's Sam, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Um, yeah, I like the little pumpkin boy. I get why
He's
he's on
cute.
merch and stuff. He's cute. I also really like, and that like ties like the whole principal thing up, right? because you're
Yep.
like, here's a story with the principal, and I don't like it, and he's bad to his kid, and murders children that obviously go to his school, and like he's just gross. And he
He
ends
gets
up
his.
dying, so fuck him. Like I really liked that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I really enjoyed that. I also, again, really liked the Corey and how it tied in with everything. But I also didn't,
Mhm.
me personally, I didn't need that shot with the old man of like the picture of like the school bus and the fire.
Mhm.
I was like, I didn't need that. I knew it was him.
I
Because
needed
they made
that.
a point of they made a point of like showing his ring in like the flashback or like when the
Mhm.
girl is telling the story, they show his ring, and then when he's closing the door, they show his ring again, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
And I think
I'm the meme.
you
Anyways,
also, because when he comes out, when he's crawling out of the quarry, he's got big scratches on his
yeah,
face. And I think at one point when you see him as an old man, there are scars.
yes,
It's hard to see because he's all wrinkly, but
wrinkly,
like I don't think I watched it. It was neat watching it 2 nights in a row. Watching it Thursday and then Friday because I feel like I noticed more the second time because I was already like primed and paying
yes,
attention to different things. Um, but yeah, personally, I definitely agree with you with the werewolf line. Like that probably was one of my favorite. And I think Renee, you actually watching it with you kind of helped me encapsulate what one of the reasons why I like it is because it is a slight misdirection because you see this sexy women, basically a coven of women in the forest dance around the fire. And I remember you saying, oh, they're witches. And I'm
yeah,
like, because I think when the very first time I watched that, I assumed the same thing. I was like, oh, this is full setup for a coven of witches. They're killing these men, blah, blah, blah. And
a
it's like,
thousand
no,
percent,
werewolves. And I was like, you know what? That was a good misdirection. Like we
yes,
weren't entirely wrong. We knew they were going after these dudes and we're like, there's something supernatural. But the swap to werewolves, because werewolves are usually thought of as men and not women, and
yeah,
they're not as sexy, like the sexy witch is so it was neat kind of going from full sexy and like I said, the ultimate strip of like peeling their skin off into this grotesque furry monster and the power of it. I liked that misdirection. I liked that change.
yeah.
That I think is the part of it that really made that storyline super enjoyable for me. And I mean, it was kind of also nice seeing the principal get his because he was a disgusting, creepy guy. So it was like nice.
Also, like the girls made a lot of like weird comments that you're kind of just like, why? That's a weird thing to say about your friend or your
Hmm.
sister. Like, even like after the phone call, the girl, Cinderella, was like, Mom always said she was the runt of the litter. And I'm like, why would you say that about your sister? And then the reveal that like it's
Werewolves.
werewolves. And I'm like,
Makes
okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense because they're puppies. Like, okay. No, I
I
really
was gonna
like that.
I was gonna point that out too, that I like that line after realizing what she really meant. So yeah.
Yes. I think their
Absolutely.
weakest storyline though is like the one that begins it and the one that ends it with the robot couple. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like I kind of wanted a little bit more from them from when we saw them like late like
Yeah.
throughout the story. I kind of would have liked a little bit more from them
Hmm.
because it just kind of seems like I guess I wasn't really paying all that much attention when it first started because I was like, is she just being killed because she doesn't have the Halloween spirit? I'm like, I guess that makes sense. Okay, sure. And then it's like you hear him say again that, oh, you shouldn't blow out the jack-o'-lantern because it's bad luck, and she's like, oh, what is this, blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, like she gets killed because Sam didn't kill the guy, so he's got to kill somebody because he's got his little lollipop and she blew out her thing, but so she obviously doesn't have the Halloween spirit. I'm like, that's kind of like a weak kill or a weak reason it feels, whereas everything else kind of feels a little bit stronger.
So, in general, are you horror movie fans? You've kind of both already answered this, but in general, what is your vibe with horror? Not specifically Halloween, but like a horror classic. What's your background in that and your history of kind of knowledge of it. Like I said, this movie does make certain references to some classic like 80s slasher movies and all that. So do you have knowledge of that kind of prior to watching this, or is it just like super new, just fun, interesting?
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten the references. I'm like relatively new to horror because I don't,
Hmm.
for a really long time, I didn't like it. And then I've been sprinkling it into my movie watching. Like I saw Weapons this year. I've seen like more of the newer horror come out. And then I go back to like the 80s slashers because it feels like I can disconnect a little bit easier.
Hmm.
So any like references to stuff that is like iconic in horror is not something that I'm going to pick up on, but I
Hmm.
do enjoy it. I feel like I've gotten to the point in life where I'm like, if I'm going to feel something, I'm okay with feeling scared. Has been
Hmm.
my opinion. Someone's like, "Do you want to go see the scary movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can feel something. Sounds good." I can feel fear for 2 hours. That sounds good. Got the adrenaline going.
Yeah. So I kind of already know your vibes, Renee, but
Yeah. It's like Taylor, like I wouldn't get the references because I haven't seen the history of horror and slasher movies. Like scary movie, like paranormal activity movies, The Conjuring, like that kind of scary movie wouldn't bother me, but it's the gore. I don't want it. I don't like that.
fair.
So yeah, that's my separation there. I just like it's just like give me a good time. Like I've seen Dale and Tucker versus Evil. That's supposed to be like a horror comedy, like
Yeah.
hilarious. And like it's got it's similar where you don't really see the kills on screen, but you see like the aftermath of them. That's a very funny movie.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it.
You need like a little bit of like campiness to your if you were to watch a horror movie, it has to be kind of silly. Like has to
Yeah.
be kind of like,
Like I also saw, was it Cabin in the Woods or something like that?
yeah.
Anyways, it was like watching it, it's pretty enjoyable. And then I think that's the movie where they try to escape the woods. So he does a jump off the mo on a motorcycle. He jumps off a cliff on a motorcycle, but it like hits an invisible wall or something. Is that the movie I'm thinking of?
I've
Yeah.
never seen this.
And I was dying laughing. That totally changed like the vibe of the movie in that instant. And I just like now I can't take this movie seriously. Now it's not a scary movie. Now this is so fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yep. Was there anything you didn't like?
No, I don't think so. Other than like again the first story where it was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, just kind of like a little bit more weak.
Yeah, I didn't, there wasn't anything that I didn't think I bothered me or I didn't like.
I'd say just like the principal and his story was just like I
Yep.
didn't like that one. I get that it was in a sense necessary for like the other stories, but yeah, it was like
Fair.
the most meh. What do you think?
Yeah, because I think like if anything, I'd maybe have like a couple nitpicks because overall I just find it a very enjoyable movie. I do have to say I kind of like how because it's a very short movie. It's only 82 minutes.
Love it.
Even by like kind of standard horror movie, because a standard horror movie usually hits at least 90 minutes, around 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 80 minutes isn't too unusual. 90 minutes is kind of the standard. You don't want it to be too much longer, or you're starting to drag and you're losing suspense, you're losing interest, right? But I did like that it didn't kind of overstay its welcome. It knew what it was
Yeah.
and it stuck kind of within those parameters. Um, so I have some trivia, but which I think might open up some interesting conversation.
Oh,
So,
okay.
kind of the first one, this is more just like a fun, interesting little bit, is that most of the jack-o'-lanterns throughout the movie were made of foam or ceramic. They weren't actual real pumpkins, which makes
Ceramic.
sense.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Styrofoam, I would, I would guess that, but ceramic, that's
I'm
surprising.
wondering if a lot of the ceramic ones were the ones that you see very obviously lit with a candle. So I'm wondering if
Maybe.
maybe like the heat would do better than the foam,
Oh, yeah, maybe.
potentially. All right,
And like
so
how long their takes are, right?
yeah, for sure. So, this one kind of trivia fact that I have, I think I kind of want to see your guys' take and how you feel about it, but it's long, it's a longer one. So there were 18 drafts of this script, and overall, one theme that crept in through along the way was the idea of each of the stories representing a different stage of a person's experience of Halloween. So it kind of focuses most like this kind of trivia kind of focuses mostly on four of the stories, not quite as much as our robot couple, but they're kind of more of the kind of throwaway kind of
Yeah.
storyline. But anyway, our first storyline with the father and son is how you're introduced to Halloween. So as a child, how your family kind of brings in the traditions. So because you kind of do see that with the father and son, talking about making the candy apples, carving the jack-o'-lantern, which we know isn't a jack-o'-lantern, but the idea of family tradition and how that is introduced to you as a young child. Then we have our preteens, our tweens as a kid. So this is the first time you and your friends are roaming around the town without your parents. And generally at that age, yeah, it's when you see that bullying, that
Yeah.
let's be assholes. Also the idea of local legend, urban legends and all that with the bus with the creepy kids, and that is very much just kind of that age of childhood and how you are experiencing Halloween. Then our lovely college girls, where Halloween is about dressing up really sexy and really heavily focused on that sex appeal, right? And then, like, you kind of see, I guess you could argue that the robot couple is kind of like young adults-ish, like just after college age. Ha Halloween, maybe disenchanted from it, not as interested anymore, but you don't have kids, so you don't have that magic of it.
Yeah.
But kind of our final one is our Scrooge of Halloween, as they put it, is Halloween in your twilight years. Our old man who's just kind of fucking over it and just wants to be left alone. But then our lovely little Sam reminds him that it's like, you better not be an asshole and give up the damn candy and just participate. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Enjoy the spirit of Halloween, and then kind of that resurgence of it with him. So, what do you guys feel with that kind of trivia and how they portrayed it? Do you think they portrayed it well? Do you feel that it is definitely there? You see it, you feel it. Like what is your view on their intention?
That seemed pretty like exactly what they went for. The whole thing with the kid, I was like, this kid's so annoying. Like, I don't want this principal to succeed, but then he just keeps yelling out the window, and I'm like, oh my God. But we were all that kid, right? So like, I get that. And then with the boring couple at the beginning, when you were talking, I remembered how she was like, oh, I have to take all these Halloween decorations now down now. And I'm like, you're drunk. Why are you doing that at God knows what hour? And she's like, my mom's coming in tomorrow. And it's like, you have all these responsibilities as an adult, which is probably why I was like, I hate this story because it's technically where we're supposed to be at. But I found it completely unrelatable because I really love Halloween, right? So I'm like,
Yes.
I don't know. But you also see her like she sees the kids trick or treating, right? That's a thing that she
Yeah.
sees at the beginning and she like kind of smiles and she's like, "Oh, I remember being young," and like ha kind of clearly has that feeling. So I'm like, that's interesting. I wouldn't have like I didn't even think about it after the fact until you like mentioned that this is the stages of the life and I'm like, "Oh, that would
Mhm.
make sense why she was like, oh, look at these kids, like I'm saying the words for her, but oh, look at these kids and they're trick-or-treating and oh, I remember when Halloween used to be fun and wasn't like getting smashed and my annoying boyfriend and whatever." And then she like sees this guy across the street and she's like fucking terrified. She's like, I'm gonna be murdered because, you know, she's seen all these slasher films because she's 30 and like he takes off his mask and he gets in the car and you're like, oh, a sigh of relief. I'm not being murdered tonight. I got to go back to my responsibilities, and then she gets murdered. But like, you know, I feel like weirdly like that is so very relatable, but also boring. But I think they did a when you say it with your words, with your fact, I think that it really made everything clear instead of like a oh
Yeah.
everybody's connected, which I already really like, but then it's like oh it's actually this different stages that you go through as you live your life of like how you view and feel Halloween. And I like that.
Yeah.
It makes the movie feel a little bit deeper too,
Hmm.
right? Because on the
Yeah.
surface, it's like this is just like a silly little slasher thing, and it's kind of funny with the principal not being able to bury the guys, and then the girls turning into werewolves, and the kids being assholes.
Kids being
Renee?
bullies.
Yeah, kids being bullies. I weirdly wasn't expecting the kids to be bullies. I don't know why.
Really?
My brain wasn't immediately like youths are bad and they bully people. I was just like, oh, like I guess I was like misled by her costume because she's dressed up like an angel, and then she like gets to go into the story, and I was like, this bitch, like what? And I'm like, oh no, something bad is gonna happen when they go down into the quarry. I wasn't expecting the bullying, and then it happened, and I went, oh, this is almost too real.
Renee, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, like once you point out each stage and like each story is a different age, it's like, oh yeah, I can totally see that. I get it. Also that first couple, the girl who hates Halloween, it's just like she did quite an elaborate setup for someone who does not like Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if I don't like something, I'm not decorating that elaborately.
Yeah.
Um, there was also about the tween, the girl being the angel and the she's like the ringleader of being the bullies. It's like, well, obviously she's gonna be an angel. They gotta put that very big contrast in there.
Yeah.
Got some more trivia. Kind of goes back to some of our references. So, Anne Paquin's character is named Laurie. Do y'all know where that one's from?
No.
Laurie Strode from Halloween,
Oh,
1978.
I've never seen Halloween. I know. It's on my list of I was gonna watch it this year.
That is basically the birth of the modern like 80s slasher because it was 1978. It was the first one. So
I've seen
kind of
the Freddy one and the Jason ones.
they came after him though.
I
They came after
know.
Michael Myers.
I'm too
I do have to
scared
say
of
Freddy's
Michael
my
Myers. I'm
favorite.
terrified.
No,
I
it's good.
had started watching that, God, like when I still lived at my parents' house. I think with my older sister. And in the first couple minutes, he like kills the dog, and I'm like, nope.
Oh, I don't know if
Yeah,
I can do it.
So like
fair.
it was written off for me because that I'm like, you don't see anything. But
But still,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like,
Even
I'm
with
not here
this,
for the animals.
no, even with
Fair.
this movie, when Sam was in the old man's house, I was like, he doesn't kill the dog, right? Like, please tell me the dog's gonna be okay.
Dog's fine.
Yeah, he's okay. He's a terrier. He can handle himself.
So another reference. Brian Cox wore a wig and prosthetics. So this is our old man at the end because he wanted to look like John Carpenter, who was the director
Oh,
who did Halloween, The Thing, tons of the old classic horror. I didn't write down I forget. No, I didn't write it down. There are one or two references to The Thing, to
oh,
John Carpenter's The Thing. Another John, I didn't write it down. I feel so silly. There was another John Carpenter reference in there. So they had to create all of their own candy wrappers for this movie. They couldn't use any recognizable candy wrappers because pretty well every single candy shown has either a razor blade in it, is used to kill someone, or is poisoned.
that's
So
bad
I mean,
PR.
no actual candy company would want their name associated with poisoned Halloween candy. So they had to create all their own candy wrappers, candy brands, and everything for the film. So that's kind of fun.
That
do we
is
get like
kind of
a
fun.
is there like a name on any of them that you noticed? Because like, I mean, I didn't notice
I
that they
think
were
there
on
are,
there.
but it's hard to read in some of the shots because they're all props actively being used. They're not trying to show off. They're just like they're unwrapping it and then they're eating it and then they're barfing. Or we have our lovely Sam. Oh, look at my little candy bar. And then we're gonna open it. There's a razor blade. That's what I jabbed you with in your ankle. Yeah.
I did not like that part. I did not like that. I was like, oh no. That was the part that I was like, oh no, this is where I'm out. You went for the Achilles? Are you kidding? Fuck off.
All right, so I've got kind of this kind of final little wrap up. Feels like a bit of a silly question, but overall, do you feel like this does a good job of just capturing the spirit of Halloween, the Halloween vibe? Is this overall a good Halloween movie, right? Like, you have your Christmas movies that are all about Christmas, and there are other like there. I feel like Halloween movies, like they both definitely exist and are a thing, but they're not like people don't think about them as much. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But do you feel like this captures the vibe and this is a good Halloween movie? Obviously more for grown-ups, but how do you feel about that?
I think it does. I think it would be the kind of movie that you add to like your rotation of Halloween movies, and like I don't know what point something becomes like a classic, but I feel like this is on its way. If
Hmm.
if it's not classified as one yet, because I don't know, I feel like it has to be
Almost
old
20
enough.
years old.
Yeah. Oh my God, don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
But
then maybe it is classic.
yeah, actually, I it's semi-related. Just to make y'all feel old, did you realize that the Jim Carrey Grinch is coming to theaters this Christmas?
No,
Because it's the 25-year anniversary.
no,
I'm gonna go watch it. I love The Grinch.
no.
But
I
oh,
agree, but I didn't realize it was 25 years old already, and
Is
I
that why
currently
Taylor
have
Momsen came out with her Christmas album finally?
who?
She's
Say it again.
Cindy
I
Lou.
didn't hear.
she's Taylor Momsen came out with a
Okay.
Christmas album and she played Cindy Lou Who in
Yeah.
the Jim Carrey and she has a band and she's finally after 20 years released a fucking
Probably. That is probably why.
This is
I had to
terrible
wait for like a
news.
big anniversary.
What a bad
Yeah.
way to find this out. I feel like it's definitely like back to trick or treat.
Yeah, back to trick or
Back to
treat.
trick or treat, away from Christmas, okay? Um,
Both
I feel like
holidays.
it's definitely, I don't remember the question. Is it a Halloween movie? Yes.
Does it fit the Halloween vibe? Do you feel like it's a good representation of like a classic Halloween movie?
When it comes to like Halloween movies, I feel like most people's Halloween movies are things that fit into like the spooky, you got witches. I'm trying to think of Halloween movies. Like you got Hocus Pocus, you've got, for me, Clue. You've got, because it's just like a fun fall camping
Yeah.
movie. Uh, what are other Halloween movies that kind of are in people's rotation? Beetlejuice. You've got mo a lot of Halloween movies that are in people's rotation seem to be more family friendly stuff because it's stuff that we've
Yeah.
watched when we were younger and like more impressionable impressionable and it's like stayed in our head so we're like yes this is a Halloween movie for me um and I feel like when it comes to things that are like more of like a horror genre there isn't nothing's really Halloween specific, you know
Except
what I mean,
Halloween.
except Halloween,
But
like
even then,
everything.
that you can watch anytime.
Yes, so it never really feels like it's specific to like this time of year because if you watch
Yes.
horror movies you're watching that all year round.
Exactly.
If you're like most horror movies are just like they're spooky because they're horror. It's
Yes.
not like oh Halloween specific. I can think of one other one that I've watched that was Halloween specific. I can't remember the name of it, but it's fantastic. Um, so I feel like you've definitely got like all the costumes and the trick-or-treating and you've got like this campiness and this fun like generational thing that I also think is like really great. So I feel like I haven't been on top of my like Halloween rotation movie watching, But I feel like I would definitely throw this in there because it's got like that horror element, but it's got like the fun campy and like all the candy and the silly. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, no, it's definitely a Halloween movie. It definitely fits into that like it
That
definitely
good
fits
vibe.
that. Yeah.
Megan, did
Um,
you want to answer that?
oh yeah, I probably should. Um, yeah, I fully this is kind of one that we don't do it every single year in our Halloween rotation, but probably every other year. So my husband and I, at the beginning of September, because we're nuts. At the beginning of September, we start our Halloween um movie watching. We spend 2 months on strictly Halloween horror movies because every Friday we watch a movie together. We alternate our picks. So because October isn't enough, we start at the beginning of September. We do 2 months, and this one like I said, we don't do every single year, but it's usually a pretty easy every other year. It kind of pops up and gets put in. So for me, it has been feeling very much like a good classic. It's in our rotation. It's a good classic Halloween. Like you said, it fits the feels and the vibe. You see all the different ages. You see it through slightly different viewpoints, and we've got the costumes and the fun and with the character of Sam, like they really did create like an iconic character. And even though this movie isn't like as insanely popular, or like Sam as a character isn't, it's not like Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason, where it's like everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
You can ask like almost anyone on the street and say those names, and they may not have seen the movie, but they know who that character is. Sam from Trick or Treat, maybe not quite as much, but he's popular enough that there have been plenty of times where I've been just walking down the street and I'll see someone with a shirt with him on it. And I'm like, okay, like he's not it's not so obscure that you never see it or hear about it. It's smaller, but it's there. It is part of, I guess maybe like I'm assuming like probably horror movie culture
Mhm.
is my guess, but yeah, it definitely fits the vibe. The late like 2000s vibe is there. It's not as obvious as other movies that made in like 2000 to 2010, but it's
Yeah.
definitely there. I look at some of those outfits and I'm just like, not the costumes, but some of like the very few moments of plain clothes, and I'm just like, I remember those pants. I
Yeah.
remember those shirts. So that's
It's
always kind of
nice too that like the movie pretty stayed away from like technology too, right? Because it feels like like even if the clothes aren't giving
timeless.
away the time, it's the cell phones and everything else that kind of dates it. So the fact that there isn't really that, the only thing that really kind of dates it is even like at the beginning where she's like, go put in the tape. And I'm like, a tape? A VHS? Seriously? And
VHS?
in 2007, not
Even then,
uncommon, but like starting to like go out, right?
yeah.
So I feel like that's the only thing that really actually dates it.
Yeah, but like you said, otherwise it feels very timeless.
Hmm.
Like you've got a lot of very classic costumes, classic monsters, classic just vibe of everything and the way people interact and everything. It doesn't, I think just throughout time, like you said, there are the few moments that age it, but for the most part, this movie isn't going to age. Like it may, but not in terms of the
No.
clothes, the set, the technology. All right, take two. Final
Take,
thoughts?
I like that Sam is like on a witch hunt for anyone who like hates Halloween, and the way to like get him off your back was to be like, here's some candy. Like I thought that was really funny.
yeah.
And he's
I
like
like that.
determined to, he had that broken sucker. He's got to use it.
So
And
cute.
then he finds his victim, which was the girl from the first story. So
Yeah.
just she's
You guys are
Frozen?
she's frozen.
both
But there
frozen.
she's back.
I
Yeah.
can hear you. You guys
Oh.
were both frozen that whole time and we're cutting in and out.
Oh.
But I was fine. Okay. I hope that this all records everybody's part. What is happening? Do we have 10 minutes to stop?
Yes. I think we've summoned.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you look good for me.
I'm
Yeah, you're
good
back.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Final thoughts. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna add it into my Halloween rotation at least, maybe every once in a while. I liked all the little stories. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And even in talking about it, I think I don't like it, but I'm okay with the first story a little bit now that we've kind of talked about how ages and etc. Yeah, still the weakest story, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched this because normally I would have been like, it looks like
Good.
it could be scary. We haven't talked mentioned, but I liked that it kind of starts with a comic book. Like the title sequence is like
Mm.
the Trick or Treat comic book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never really seen something like that. Is there, was it a comic before or?
I can tell.
Okay.
The film is based on Michael Dawtrey's animated short film Season's Greetings from 1996, which debuted the character of Sam.
Oh,
Okay.
neat.
So,
That's neat.
Cool. I just really liked that it kind of had like that comic book at the beginning or during the title sequence. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting, kind of showing
yeah,
us
it's got
everything.
that feel.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get into this. I really liked that.
All right, how would we rate? What is your star rating? Renee, you want to go first? What would you give it?
Hmm. I think initially I was gonna be like, like 5 or 6 because it's just meh for me. But like
Fair.
thinking about it, over the last couple days, then also just discussing it is like it like there's more to it than just watching it, if you know what I mean. So I would give it a 7. That's my rating is a 7.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
yeah,
Taylor, what would you say?
I was gonna say 6 or 7. I feel like as a regular movie, you're
Fair.
kind of like, whatever. But as like, I don't know. I feel like no, other way around. As like a horror thing, I think more people are like I feel like more people would be like, well, there's better horror movies, so it's kind of like lower, but for a regular movie watcher, it's kind of like, oh, this is different, this is new, this is fun. Um,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. I really liked it. So I'm like maybe yeah, 6 or 7. Megan?
Oh, that's good because we're kind of all in agreement because I'd probably do we're kind of in agreement. I do about a 7. I
Yeah.
do about a 7. It is a movie I do really enjoy. I mean, it's not like you said in terms of like horror, it's not like a top tier horror movie for me. It's a lot of fun. I like its references to a lot of classic slasher movies and classic horror. Really fun movie. It's creative, visually, it's very interesting. And it's a super fun, interesting Halloween movie, right? It is heavily it's all about Halloween, and I think that's a lot of fun and really interesting. But so I think a 7 is a really fair, like 7 out of 10 is a very fair assessment of it. It is not like a, epic piece of art, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
well written, well done, well directed. The costume design is wonderful. Um, so yeah, I think we're all pretty well in agreement. Oops, dropping stuff.
Yay!
So, yay!
Yay! I don't think that happens very often for us.
That's okay.
So far.
That's all right.
Okay. So that was 2007's Trick or Treat. It's not Trick or Treat. You said that that was just
I'm not entirely sure because sometimes I get teased in a loving way, but sometimes people Mr. Husband likes to tease me or pull the wool over my eyes in very mild
Trick
ways.
or treat.
He likes to make up words.
Okay.
Just saying.
This is one of them.
This is one of them.
This is
Trick or
potentially one of
treat,
them.
trick or treat, trick or treat. Night 2007, 2007. Thank you for hanging out and talking movies with us. If you want to see our faces, we're on the YouTube at Were You Watching That Pod. You can follow us on Instagram at Were You Watching That Pod. And if you have any movie recommendations, questions, fun facts, you can email us at Were You Watching That Pod at gmail.com. On Spotify, we're also Were You Watching That Pod? That one I'm not too confident on, but we're on Spotify as well. Yeah, and don't forget to tune in next time when we cover Pleasantville, which came out when? 2000, 1999? Hold on.
No, not that old.
Pleasantville is 1998. Okay.
No, it's not.
Hell yeah, it is. Let me show
Is
you.
there more than one?
No, this is the Pleasantville.
Oh my God.
Can you see that?
Ew.
This is 1998. All right.
Okay.
You know what? This poster, our basement used to have posters all around like the whatever, and Pleasantville was one of them. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.